Have you ever found yourself staring at the blood pressure monitor, watching those numbers climb higher and higher while your heart pounds in your chest? Or maybe you felt that persistent headache that just won't quit, making it impossible to enjoy time with your grandchildren. I understand that living with high blood pressure can feel like carrying an invisible weight on your shoulders every single day. It's that constant worry when you reach for the salt shaker at dinner, that moment of panic when you forget to take your medication, or that feeling of helplessness when your doctor keeps prescribing more pills despite your best efforts. Nearly 70% of adults over 60 in America are battling hypertension right now, and many feel like they're fighting a losing battle against a condition that silently damages their body day after day. But what if I told you that controlling your blood pressure doesn't have to be so complicated? What if the solution isn't in another prescription bottle, but actually sitting in your kitchen right now? After years of researching and working with thousands of people just like you, I've discovered 3 powerful foods that have been scientifically proven to lower blood pressure naturally in older adults. These aren't exotic ingredients you'll need to hunt down at specialty stores. They're affordable, delicious foods that can seamlessly fit into your daily routine. What makes these 3 foods so remarkable is how they work with your body's natural processes to relax your blood vessels, improve circulation, and bring those dangerous numbers down to a healthier range. And the best part? You can start including them in your diet today without waiting for another doctor's appointment or a new prescription. Before I share these 3 blood pressure-lowering powerhouses with you, I'd love to know if you or someone you love is dealing with hypertension. Drop a comment below sharing your biggest challenge with managing high blood pressure. Is it the medication side effects, the dietary restrictions, or something else entirely? Your experience could help others in our community who are walking the same path. Let's start with understanding why high blood pressure is so prevalent among older adults. As we age, our blood vessels naturally become less elastic and more rigid. This means your heart has to work harder to pump blood throughout your body, causing your blood pressure to rise. According to the latest statistics from the CDC, hypertension affects nearly 120 million Americans, with the highest rates among those over 60. But here's what your doctor might not emphasize enough. Your body has incredible natural healing abilities, especially when given the right nutritional support. That's where our 3 special foods come in. Each one contains specific compounds that target different aspects of blood pressure regulation. Now, picture this. Waking up in the morning without that throbbing headache, playing with your grandchildren without feeling winded, or traveling without the constant worry of a health emergency far from home. These simple pleasures that high blood pressure has stolen from you can be reclaimed, and it starts with what you put on your plate. I'm not suggesting you stop taking your prescribed medications. That's a conversation for you and your doctor. But I am suggesting that these natural approaches can work alongside conventional treatments, potentially reducing your dependence on drugs that often come with unpleasant side effects. I want to take a moment to ask something important. When was the last time someone really listened to your concerns about living with high blood pressure? Not just checked your numbers and adjusted your medication, but truly understood how this condition affects your daily life, your independence, and your peace of mind. Many of my clients tell me they feel isolated in their struggle, believing that no one really understands the constant anxiety that comes with having an invisible condition that could lead to a stroke or heart attack without warning. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. Maybe something like, "I've been dealing with hypertension for X years, and what bothers me most is blank." Sharing your experience not only helps me create more relevant content for you, but it also shows others in our community that they're not alone in this battle. Sometimes knowing someone else understands exactly what you're going through can provide immense comfort. Now, let's continue our conversation about how these 3 remarkable foods can transform your health. The first blood pressure-lowering superhero is beetroot, a vibrant root vegetable that's often overlooked but packs a powerful punch when it comes to heart cardiovascular health. What makes beetroot so effective?
It's exceptionally rich in dietary nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes and dilates your blood vessels, allowing blood to flow more freely and reducing pressure on your arterial walls. A recent groundbreaking study from the University of Exeter found that when older adults consumed beetroot juice daily for just 2 weeks, their systolic blood pressure dropped by an average of 6 mmHg, a reduction comparable to what some medications achieve, but without the side effects. The science behind beetroot's blood pressure lowering ability is fascinating. When you consume beetroot, the nitrates it contains are converted to nitrite by beneficial bacteria in your mouth. Then, in your stomach and bloodstream, this nitrite is further converted to nitric oxide, which signals your blood vessel walls to relax. As we age, our bodies naturally produce less nitric oxide, which contributes to rising blood pressure. By consuming beetroot regularly, you're essentially providing your body with the raw materials it needs to create more of this crucial compound. This is especially important for people over 60, as research shows the blood pressure lowering effects of beetroot are actually more pronounced in older adults than in younger individuals. You might be wondering, how much beetroot do I need to eat to see results? According to research, consuming about 1 cup of cooked beetroot or 8 ounces of beetroot juice daily can significantly impact your blood pressure. Don't worry about the taste. While beetroot has an earthy flavor that some people find challenging, there are numerous delicious ways to incorporate it into your diet. Try roasting beetroot with a drizzle of olive oil and a sprinkle of herbs, blending it into smoothies with berries to mask the earthy taste, or grating raw beetroot into salads for a colorful, nutritious boost. If you're not a fan of preparing fresh beetroot, unsweetened beetroot juice is widely available and offers the same benefits. It's important to note that while beetroot is generally safe for most people, its high nitrate content may interact with certain medications, particularly those used to treat erectile dysfunction or chest pain. Additionally, beetroot can temporarily turn your urine and stool pink or red, a harmless but sometimes alarming effect known as beechuria. If you're on medication for hypertension or any other condition, it's always wise to consult with your healthcare provider before making significant dietary changes. But for most older adults, adding beetroot to your weekly meal plan is a simple, effective strategy for supporting healthier blood pressure.
The second powerful food for naturally controlling hypertension is dark chocolate. Yes, you read that correctly. Before you get too excited, we're specifically talking about dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa content, not the sugary milk chocolate varieties. High-quality dark chocolate is rich in flavanols, plant compounds that stimulate your body to produce nitric oxide, similar to the effect of beetroot, but through a different mechanism. These flavanols help improve the function of your endothelial cells, the cells that line your blood vessels, allowing them to dilate more effectively and reducing resistance to blood flow. In a landmark study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, researchers found that consuming just 30 calories of dark chocolate daily, about 1 small square, for 18 weeks, reduced systolic blood pressure by an average of 3 millimeters of mercury. While this might seem modest, even small reductions in blood pressure can translate to significant decreases in cardiovascular risk. In fact, population studies suggest that a 3 mmHg reduction in systolic blood pressure could reduce stroke risk by 8% and coronary heart disease by 5%. What makes dark chocolate particularly valuable for older adults is that it offers multiple cardiovascular benefits beyond blood pressure reduction. The flavanols in dark chocolate also help reduce inflammation, prevent blood clotting, and improve insulin sensitivity, all factors that contribute to better heart health. Additionally, dark chocolate contains significant amounts of magnesium, a mineral that many older adults are deficient in, and which plays a key role in regulating blood pressure and muscle function. When selecting dark chocolate, look for varieties with at least 70% cocoa content and minimal added sugar. The higher the cocoa percentage, the greater the concentration of beneficial flavanols and the less sugar it contains. Aim for about 1 ounce, 28 grams daily, which provides enough flavanols to benefit your blood pressure without adding too many calories to your diet. Try enjoying your dark chocolate square with your morning coffee or as an after-dinner treat. The slight bitterness pairs beautifully with the natural sweetness of berries or a cup of herbal tea. While dark chocolate can be a wonderful addition to a heart-healthy diet, moderation is key. Even dark chocolate contains calories and some saturated fat, so it should replace other treats rather than being added on top of your regular diet. For those with diabetes, be particularly mindful of the carbohydrate content and factor it into your daily carbohydrate allowance.
And remember, the benefits come from the cocoa, not the sugar or fat that often accompanies it in commercial chocolate products. So always opt for the highest quality, least processed options you can find. The third blood pressure lowering powerhouse is whole oats, one of nature's most perfect foods for cardiovascular health. Oats contain a special type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan, which has been extensively studied for its ability to lower both cholesterol and blood pressure. This fiber works in multiple ways to support healthy blood pressure. It helps reduce the absorption of cholesterol, promotes weight loss by keeping you feeling full longer, and supports a healthy balance of gut bacteria, which emerging research suggests may play a role in blood pressure regulation. A comprehensive review published in the British Journal of Nutrition analyzed 28 clinical trials and found that regular consumption of whole oats or oat bran can reduce systolic blood pressure by an average of 2.7 millimeters of mercury and diastolic pressure by 1.5 millimeters mercury. These effects were most pronounced in people with existing hypertension, suggesting that oats may be particularly beneficial for those already dealing with high blood pressure. Additionally, the benefits appear to increase with consistent consumption over time, making oats an ideal daily food for long-term blood pressure management. Beyond their fiber content, oats are also rich in unique antioxidant compounds called avenanthramides, which have anti-inflammatory and anti-itching properties. These compounds help prevent free radical damage to LDL cholesterol, a major contributor to plaque formation in arteries, and may help reduce arterial stiffness, a key factor in hypertension, especially in older adults. Oats also provide a good source of magnesium and potassium, two minerals that work together to regulate blood pressure by balancing fluid levels and relaxing blood vessels. Incorporating oats into your daily routine is simple and affordable. Start your day with a warm bowl of steel-cut or old-fashioned rolled oats topped with berries, a sprinkle of cinnamon, and perhaps a small piece of that dark chocolate we discussed earlier. For a savory option, try oats cooked with low-sodium broth and topped with a soft-boiled egg and steamed vegetables. Oat bran can be sprinkled into yogurt, smoothies, or homemade whole-grain bread recipes for an additional fiber boost. Aim for about 3/4 cup of dry oats daily to get the blood pressure-lowering benefits. It's worth noting that while instant oatmeal is convenient, many varieties contain added sugars and sodium, which can counteract the blood pressure benefits. Opt for plain, unflavored varieties and add your own fresh or frozen fruit for sweetness. And if you're gluten sensitive, look for certified gluten-free oats, as regular oats may contain trace amounts of gluten from processing facilities. For most people, however, whole oats represent one of the most accessible, affordable, and effective dietary strategies for supporting healthy blood pressure levels.
Now, what makes these three foods, beetroot, dark chocolate, and whole oats, particularly powerful is how they work together synergistically to target multiple aspects of blood pressure regulation. Beetroot provides nitrates that your body converts to nitric oxide, dark chocolate supplies flavonols that enhance endothelial function, and oats deliver soluble fiber that supports overall cardiovascular health. Together, they create a comprehensive nutritional approach to blood pressure management that addresses both the symptoms and underlying causes of hypertension. Imagine starting your day with a bowl of oatmeal topped with dark chocolate shavings and a side of beetroot juice. This simple breakfast alone provides a potent combination of nutrients specifically targeted to relax your blood vessels, improve blood flow, and support your cardiovascular system throughout the day. Or consider a lunch of roasted beetroot and arugula salad, followed by a small square of dark chocolate for dessert, and perhaps an oat-based granola bar as an afternoon snack. These simple meal ideas incorporate all three blood pressure-lowering foods in delicious, satisfying ways. What's particularly valuable about this approach is its accessibility and sustainability. Unlike restrictive diets that focus on what you can't eat, this strategy emphasizes adding beneficial foods to your routine. It doesn't require expensive supplements or complicated meal plans, just simple, whole foods that you can find at any grocery store. And because these foods are genuinely delicious and versatile, they're easy to incorporate into your lifestyle for the long term, which is essential for managing a chronic condition like hypertension. Of course, these three foods work best as part of a comprehensive approach to blood pressure management.
For optimal results, combine them with other heart-healthy habits like regular physical activity, stress reduction techniques, adequate sleep, and limiting sodium and alcohol intake. Even modest changes in these areas can amplify the benefits of our three featured foods and contribute to significant improvements in your blood pressure readings over time. It's also important to remember that individual responses to dietary changes can vary based on genetics, medication use, and overall health status. Some people may see dramatic improvements in their blood pressure from incorporating these foods, while others might experience more subtle effects. This is why it's essential to monitor your blood pressure regularly at home and keep your healthcare provider informed about the dietary changes you're making, especially if you're taking blood pressure medications. In some cases, these natural approaches may be so effective that your medication dosage needs adjustment, a positive outcome, but one that should be managed under medical supervision.
For those concerned about potential interactions, rest assured that beetroot, dark chocolate, and oats are generally safe to consume alongside most blood pressure medications. However, if you're taking nitrate-based drugs for chest pain or erectile dysfunction, speak with your doctor before significantly increasing your beetroot consumption, as the combined effect could potentially lower your blood pressure too much. Similarly, those on blood thinners should maintain consistent intake of these foods rather than dramatically increasing or decreasing consumption, as some compounds may affect blood clotting. Beyond their effects on blood pressure, these three foods offer a wealth of additional health benefits, particularly valuable for older adults. Beetroot supports exercise performance and cognitive function by improving blood flow to muscles and the brain. Dark chocolate's antioxidants help protect against cellular damage and may improve mood and cognitive function. Oats provide sustained energy and support digestive health through their combination of soluble and insoluble fiber. By incorporating these foods into your diet, you're not just addressing hypertension, you're supporting your overall health and vitality as you age. What continues to amaze me after years of studying nutrition and working with older adults is how our bodies are designed to respond to the right foods. The pharmaceutical approach to hypertension often focuses on blocking or manipulating specific pathways in the body, sometimes with unintended consequences. In contrast, natural foods like beetroot, dark chocolate, and oats work with your body's innate processes, providing the nutrients and compounds your cardiovascular system needs to function optimally. This doesn't mean medications aren't necessary. They absolutely are for many people with hypertension. But complementing pharmaceutical treatments with therapeutic foods can potentially enhance their effectiveness while reducing dependence on higher doses. Let's talk about practical implementation. I recommend starting with one of these foods at a time, incorporating it into your diet daily for a week before adding the next one. This gradual approach allows you to observe how your body responds to each addition and makes the changes feel manageable rather than overwhelming. You might start with oats, since they're likely already familiar, then add dark chocolate as a daily treat, and finally, experiment with beetroot recipes. Keep a simple log of your blood pressure readings alongside notes about which foods you've added, and you'll likely begin to see patterns emerge within a few weeks. For those who find the taste of beetroot challenging, consider starting with beetroot powder, which can be mixed into smoothies or juices to mask the earthy flavor while still providing the beneficial nitrates. Similarly, if the bitterness of high-percentage dark chocolate is off-putting at first, begin with 70% cocoa and gradually work your way up to higher percentages as your palate adjusts. And for variety in your oat consumption, explore different preparations. Overnight oats, baked oatmeal cups, or even savory oat risotto can keep this staple food interesting and enjoyable.
Remember that consistency is key when it comes to managing blood pressure naturally. The effects of these foods aren't permanent. They need to be consumed regularly to maintain their benefits. Think of them as maintenance foods that provide your cardiovascular system with daily support rather than one-time fixes. This is actually good news because it means you have ongoing control over your blood pressure through the choices you make each day. Every time you choose beetroot, dark chocolate, or oats, you're actively participating in your own healthcare and taking a step toward better heart health. If you've stayed with me this far, I know you're serious about taking control of your blood pressure naturally. You understand that hypertension doesn't have to dictate your life or limit your independence as you age. By incorporating beetroot, dark chocolate, and whole oats into your daily routine, you're not just following generic advice to eat healthy. You're strategically choosing specific foods with proven benefits for your cardiovascular system. This targeted approach can make a significant difference in your blood pressure readings, and more importantly, in how you feel each day. I want you to imagine waking up with energy and optimism, confident that you're actively supporting your heart health rather than just worrying about it. Picture yourself enjoying meals that are both delicious and therapeutic, knowing that each bite is contributing to your well-being. Envision a life where blood pressure checks bring reassurance rather than anxiety, and where you can fully participate in all the activities and relationships that bring you joy. This isn't just a pleasant fantasy, it's entirely possible with consistent attention to nutrition and lifestyle, starting with the 3 powerful foods we've discussed today. If you found this information valuable, I encourage you to share it with friends and family members who might also benefit. High blood pressure affects so many of us as we age, yet relatively few people understand the powerful role that specific foods can play in managing this condition naturally. Your share could be the first step in someone else's journey toward better health. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more evidence-based strategies for healthy aging. We're committed to bringing you practical, actionable information that empowers you to take charge of your well-being. Living with high blood pressure isn't easy. I understand the worry, the medication side effects, the dietary restrictions, and the constant monitoring that can make you feel more like a patient than a person. But I also know that with the right knowledge and tools, you can reclaim control and confidence in your health journey. These 3 foods, beetroot, dark chocolate, and whole oats, represent just the beginning of what's possible when you harness the power of nutrition for blood pressure management. They're accessible, affordable, and effective, making them perfect starting points for anyone looking to support their cardiovascular health naturally. Thank you for taking the time to learn about these powerful natural approaches to controlling hypertension. I truly believe that knowledge is the first step to empowerment, and you now have specific, actionable information that you can put to use immediately. Remember that small, consistent changes often lead to the most sustainable results, so don't feel you need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Start with just adding one of these foods to your daily routine, and build from there as you begin to experience the benefits. If you found this information helpful, please consider hitting the subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss our latest videos on natural approaches to healthy aging. Your journey to better blood pressure starts today with choices as simple as what you put on your breakfast plate tomorrow morning. I'm looking forward to hearing about your experiences and results in the comments section below. Here's to your heart health and to many more active and vibrant years ahead.